Hi, this is Vicki from Grandma B's Junk Journals. Thanks for stopping by my channel. Today I'm sharing a happy mail that I received yesterday. My husband and I returned from a little trip down to Ohio, and you know, when you're getting home from a trip and you know all the things that are waiting for you when you get home, the unpacking and washing and all of that business, it's just not a happy time. Well, when I got home, I seen a box from Carrie the paper monkey. And guess what? It was my birthday. So even though I knew I had some work ahead of me, I seen her happy mailbox and it just gave me a smile. So I wanted to get on and I wanted to share all of the little goodies that she sent me, and I was so happy to get it. So thank you, Carrie. And I just want to go through it real quick. Some of the things, if if you follow Carrie the paper monkey, you will see maybe some things here that are familiar to you because she does a lot of videos and she makes a lot of things on her videos, and so I want to share those. So these are little fabric clusters, and I absolutely love them. Strawberries are like one of my favorites. The bright reds, the yellows are so cute, and the pastels. If you are a sewer, if you are a quilter, you always have little snippets left over from your projects. Don't throw those away. Get on Carrie's channel, the Paper Monkey, and I know she has videos that she gives you examples on how to make these, and I do as well. Go look on some of my playlist and you will also see, because I love to make these little clusters. I love to glue them on pages of my journals for embellishments. They're just so cute and they're so easy to make, and they're just a great little project. So thank you for those. I love them. I love sharing fabric, and I love getting little things of fabric like this in the mail. It's a lot of fun and I appreciate that. I'm going to save this one for later here. She sent me some vintage buttons, which I collect, and I love to put them in my journals as well. I love to stuff my pockets with, so thank you for that. And friends, if you are out there, if you're a thrifter, pay attention at yard sales or flea markets, wherever you might go to find your treasures. Look for these vintage buttons, because you can take them off the cards and you know, you can hot glue them to your journals, to your pages. You can sew them on, or just leave them on these little vintage cards and tuck them in a pocket. All right, let's see. She sent me some napkins, which I love to receive different napkins. I'm kind of a napkin collector. I always look for napkins. I love to use these when I'm making embellishments, especially tags, or collages, if I'm making collages on my journal pages, or maybe clusters or tags. I love to use different kind of napkins. I do not have either one of these, and I especially love this. It's that country look. I love the vintage, or the, you know, the older looking napkins. That's super cute. Lots of ideas, you know, from cutting these squares out to maybe using a 4 patch or a 9 patch on some projects. Just super cute. So thank you for that. She gave me a whole stack of these little, so kind of using index cards, and I know she has a die, and this is like a file folder. So these will be great to put into the journals. You can use these for journaling or for photos. I love to add photos in all of my books, so thank you for that. I have the die that gives you the whole folder, but I do not have this die, so I'm going to have to go out and check that out, because these will be great to use in my books. All right, these, I know she has a video on this because I just watched it a little while ago. She has a video on how to make these little charms. I love these. Thank you, Carrie. This is one of these things that I have such a big stash of all of the beads. I collect all of that stuff, and I tell myself, Vicki, you are going to make some, you are going to make some, you're going to make some of these junk journal jewelries, and you know, I just don't set a time to do that. And so I watched her video a while back, and I thought, man, Carrie, thanks for that motivation, inspiration. I need to do that. And then look at this. She sends me some in the mail. So I'm going to leave this out on my table, and hopefully it will kick me in the backside and get me motivated to get out my stash and make some of my own. So if you have not seen Carrie's video, go check that out. It's lots of fun. You can always know that you will get a smile or a chuckle when you watch her video. She's a very, very fun person and very talented artist. All right, she made me a half notebook, and I believe she has a video on how to do that. I know I've seen many others. Now I haven't made the half just because I haven't, you know, I don't have this in my stash, but I've made the larger ones because that's what I have in my stash. But this will be great, and actually I think this one is going to go into my house, and it's probably going to be used as a grocery list because it's super cute and very functional. Let's see. I'm going to open her little bag with some goodies here, and she gave me some different, I think it's like cardstock, and so these are going to be great to make tags with, so I appreciate that. And if you look at that, it has a border on those, and I haven't actually seen those, so that is very cool. That will look good in a journal for pages. She sent along some vintage sewing patterns, and she knows that I love to use these. I've got many videos on using the people in my different projects, and I'm going to see if I can pull one up real quick. Let's see. I have lots of projects. Here we go. So I've got some videos on how to use these little images in different collage projects. This was a video that I made some greeting cards. I made a collage, and I just cut the little people from the envelope, and I know that Carrie uses a lot of those in her projects and journals as well. So I highly recommend that you go check out my videos. That it's Craft Along With Me videos. You know, you can make projects, and go check out Carrie's as well, because she uses a lot of these in her video, in her projects too. Now, the last thing I want to share, I just think I have not done this, and I thought this is a really fun idea, and I need to share. I need to give an example because maybe some of you might want to do this as well. So Carrie made me this cute little notebook, and it's made with a cover of a little golden book, and it's a notebook. It has a pocket with some tags in it, and she used her cinch machine right here. I also have a cinch machine, and I will probably use mine as well. Excuse me. But if you do not, you could use just some rings. I don't know if you don't have rings in your stash, you can get these off of Amazon. You can get these at Walmart or the Dollar Tree. I've bought a lot of these when I was still teaching in the classroom. I used to have these, you know, buy them at the Dollar Tree for different projects as well. They are wonderful little things to use in your craft room. So what you could do is just punch holes and get a smaller size, of course, and then you could just use these little rings up top. The rings come in all different sizes, so you might want to use, like, this is a 1-inch ring, but they even come smaller than that. I'm just looking here. I don't know, this might be a 1/2 inch, so that might be a good size. But I'm going to show you a couple of punches. Now, If you have just a regular punch, this would probably work fine. So, use what you have in your stash. You would just have to probably do, one at a time, and, but it's a doable thing. Now, if you have one of these kind of punches, this is actually the punch right here, and that is great to use because it's very strong. And then also this punch right here, this is the granddaddy here, but this right here, this punches through a lot. So if you have one of these, you could use that. But on a lot of my videos, I encourage people to get these little books off your shelf, because I know if you are a junk journaler or a paper crafter, I know you have these and probably just sitting there collecting dust. And so on a lot of my videos, I say, get those books off your shelf and use them. Use those pages up. Now this one, I've got one lonely little page left. But in the videos, I share with you how you can cut these images out and use them in different projects. So let me grab a couple from my other table here. So these are little postcards that I created, and I have videos on this, but I cut out images from these books and I just made different collages. Here's another image from a book, and here's another image from a book, and all of these are on a video that shows you how to make those. So I take the pages and I make little projects, right? Clusters, tags, postcards, you name it, I make it. Well, then you have these super cute, book covers, and my thought when I buy all of these is like, oh, I'm just going to make junk journals. Well, you can only make so many junk journals, right? You have to make other things too, or I want to. So this is the perfect size to create one of these notebooks. Now, what could you do with these notebooks? Well, school is coming, right? So you could give them to teachers, you could give them to your kids, you could give them to friends, you could sell them at craft shows. We're going to be coming into the holiday season soon, and I am sure they would sell really good at craft shows. I just took my dad over to our local senior center and for some things that they were doing over there. And I seen that they had a little gift shop, and I thought, I have so much stuff that I just don't know what to do with. I'm going to start donating to their little gift shop because they raise money for different activities or needs that the center has. So how easy would it be to make some of these little notebooks and donate it to something in your community, whether it's a senior center or something for kids or the animal shelter or some organization in your community that is trying to raise money for a specific cause. But these would be easy. It would, cheap, so inexpensive. You could use your scraps. This is just paper from a notebook. All you do is cut it down to the size that you need. And if you're fortunate enough to have a cinch, do it. If you don't have that yet in your stash, go to the Dollar Tree and pick up some of these rings and use that. These would make wonderful gifts to family and friends. And also if your children have exchange gifts, maybe at church, maybe at school, these would also be great gifts for that. So it's not too early. It's August. You should kind of be thinking about Christmas, right? So you can start those projects. So that's what I'm going to do. Look at all of these. I've just been cutting or tearing out images from these, and I think that's exactly what I'm going to do with these covers. I'm going to make them into little notebooks and donate them to our senior center so they can sell them in their little boutique. So thank you, Carrie, for that wonderful idea. I greatly appreciate everything that you sent me. There's nothing better than getting a little happy mail in the mailbox, and especially on your birthday when you don't want to think about those big numbers that keep turning, right? So everyone have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.